Hey guys, hope you are going well and welcome back to another recap of Penny Dreadful Season 3. This is episode 5 called The World Is Our Hell. And remember last week we got that incredible sort of self-contained memory flashbacky type episode with Vanessa and Caliban in the padded cell. So you pretty much knew that this week we weren't going to see Vanessa at all, and this week it was all about visiting our other supporting key characters. Most notably, it's Ethan, Talbot / Chandler out in the American Wild West. The manhunt continues with Ethan and Hecate out in the New Mexico desert as they head for Ethan's father's ranch. Close on their tail, it's the authorities with Inspector Rusk, who are wanting to bring Ethan into justice. And then close on their tail, it's Malcolm and the Apache father, Kaetenay. I can never say that name right. I will say I felt like this episode was quite slow. I feel like Ethan has been heading towards his father's ranch and towards a meeting with his father, Jared Talbot, for, well, since the beginning of this season. So now we're 5 episodes in and I just wanted him to get there already. I needed this meeting to just take place. The imagery of our characters crossing this barren, harsh, unforgiving landscape was absolutely just so poetic. The camera work, the colors of the landscape, it was really magical. And one of my favorite moments when Ethan and Hecate are sort of bunking down in that cave when hope is very much a faint glimmer, and Ethan retells to Hecate the story of the first Apache as they look at these really ancient cave paintings on the wall. Did anyone else see among the cave paintings? I could have sworn as the camera was moving across the shadowy wall, I saw some drawings of bats and scorpions, and it made me think of Vanessa and Dracula immediately. I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be a little sort of subtle throw in there. Ethan and Hecate's relationship sort of deepens, and she as well starts sharing a few intimate stories about her past, which leads him to share stories that we've never heard him retell to anyone before. These are really deep, dark, buried secrets, and he feels like he can share them with her because she is also a dark creature of the night. So they have this understanding and they have a lot more similarities than Ethan would like to admit, which is why Hecate is so bent on striking a partnership and following him. Now that we're starting to really flesh her out a little bit more and find out that she does have a past, that it wasn't her choice as such to serve Satan, to serve the devil, that her mother sort of forced it upon her, and just like Ethan's father forced it upon him to serve in the American army and do all those things that he did, she as well. It's like they've both been betrayed by their parents, by the people who were the closest to them and meant to protect them. When Ethan and Hecate are finally on death's doorstep in the middle of the desert with no hope in sight, there's no water, both of their horses have died from dehydration, and Hecate herself can no longer walk, so Ethan even has to carry her for a short time before they both sort of collapse and just wait for the end. It's in this moment that Sir Malcolm and the Apache father ride up to them. Of course, you know, out in the incredibly vast desert, just when all hope seems lost, who comes riding over the horizon? It was the most underwhelming reunion. It was almost comical when Malcolm gets off his horse, walks up to Ethan, who is dying on the ground with Hecate in his lap, and Ethan sees him and is just like, what the F are you doing here? I was thinking, yes, that is spot on. That is exactly what he would say. There was no grand slow motion running and hugging and, you know, happy smiles. It was just a bit of confusion, and he was out of it anyway. So there was no moment there. There was no sort of cathartic moment where they came together and there was a lovely reunion. Nope, none of that. And even so, Malcolm wants to get Hecate out of the way, and Ethan makes a move to protect her. And before anything can be resolved, in steps the father's men, in steps Jared Talbot's men, there to take everyone back to the ranch. Back at the ranch, and there is a lot of suspense building as Ethan has to finally confront this alleged betrayal that has taken place against his father, why his father is so hell-bent on bringing him back to pay his dues, to pay, what am I looking for? To make penance and repent. To repent for the sins of this alleged betrayal, and why Ethan himself also hates his father, why they're estranged and he fled New Mexico in the first place. I really liked the conversation between Sir Malcolm and Jared in the drawing room, and Jared offers him some of his best whiskey and says to him, you know, it's like standing in a mirror as these two men with their beards and gruff, gravelly voices face off against each other, these two really proud patriarchs who both have such fatherly bonds and duties over Ethan. Poor Kaetenay, who's just been abandoned out in the blistering sun to die with his snake bite. Finally, father and son come together, and Jared takes Ethan to the scene of the crime, to the place where Ethan's entire family was slaughtered by Apache warriors, which was Ethan's fault. Ethan is the one who told the warriors how to get onto the ranch, where all the men would be standing, where all the stores and stocks and supplies would be, and he's responsible, I suppose, for the death of his whole family as the warriors turn their guns on the innocent people, his brothers, his mother, and his little sister. And his father turns and faces him deliberately with a gun pointed at him and demands that Ethan be accountable for his actions. And this is where Ethan, who has been straddling the light and the dark, he's sick of being good, as he said to Hecate, and he says, I am done repenting, I belong in hell. And that's it. We're left to wonder how things will go next. Will his father kill him? I don't think so. Will Ethan kill his father? He wants to, and I have a feeling that it might come to a brutal, bloody struggle next week, but I don't know that Ethan will go so far as to actually kill his father like he wants to and like Hecate is trying to spur him on to do. They are my thoughts on this week's Penny Dreadful. It was a little bit slow for my liking. I think that we've been building up to this meeting and this standoff between Ethan and his father for so long now. It just took so long to get there, and I didn't think it was as satisfying as I wished it was. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Leave me comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and I will see you next week. Bye.